Are you disabled? Yes or no?
At that moment, when you're pregnant, I'm very disabled. You want me to tell you the things I can't do?
Fine. What was your...
130 pounds at that time.
So she's overweight, right? In your opinion.
Objection, no.
She's a little...
You don't need it.
Because I'm pregnant, and this girl's about to beat my ass.
The jury took maybe just 1 hour or 45 minutes to reach their verdict in the Cardi B trial, where they found Cardi B not being liable for damages in the civil suits that was brought against her by Emani Ellis for an altercation that occurred back in February 2018. And based on everything that happened, you just have to wonder, how on earth did this make it into trial? How did it make it into the courtroom? And what on earth happened at the proceedings? Hi, I go by the name of Hines, and I am here to help you catch up with trials. So let's do just that and catch up with the Emani Ellis versus Belcalis Almanzar, also known as Cardi B, and I'll be calling her that for this video, and their civil suit had ensued. So let's just catch up. For this video, I shall be focusing on the key testimonies presented that shaped this verdict, and my thoughts and analysis on the case, and also why the jury may have sided with Cardi B. 9 witnesses testified in this case, 6 for the plaintiff, Emani Ellis, and 3 for the defense, Cardi B. I have made a report for this case which contained key testimonies by all the witnesses that featured in this trial. You can find it on the Ketchup Court website, ketchupcourt.info. The link is in the description. However, for this particular video, I'm going to be focusing on 5 key witnesses that I believe shaped this verdict. So these witnesses that I'm going to focus on is Emani Ellis, who was the plaintiff in this case, and also Tierra, who was the defense witness. I'm also going to be focusing on Dr. Brent, who was the plaintiff's witness, Dr. David Finke, who is the defense witness, and finally Cardi B, who was called as an hostile witness by the plaintiff to give testimony. So those are the witnesses that I'm going to focus on in that order. So let's dive into the key testimonies, beginning with Emani Ellis. Just like on this video with her being my first witness, she was also the first witness at trial to give testimony. I personally thought that this might have been a bit weird because you would rather save your key witness that witness everything and have all the facts for the jury so that it can be fresher in their mind, because the main idea that I usually think, and you know, it's just my fault, it means nothing, that juries might forget your testimony and only remember the shock or the damning evidence that whatever might come out. So I thought it was a bit weird that she went first, but nonetheless she went first. So I'm gonna go through the key testimonies that she gave on direct exam. She testified to what happened on that day, and she made it clear that she was not recording or talking to anyone at the time she said, wow, that was Cardi B, and says that she was only going to board the elevator.
Were you using your telephone to take photographs of the defendant when you saw her exit the elevator?
No.
So if you could just tell us in your own words, when you got to the 5th floor, you were doing your rounds, and you saw Cardi B, what did you say?
I said something along the lines of, that looks like Cardi B, or wow, that's Cardi B.
Were you talking to anybody at that time?
No.
You're sure?
Yes.
Were you entering the elevator?
I was, yes.
Did you actually go inside the elevator?
I did, yes.
And did Cardi B exit the elevator?
She did, yes.
Okay, and then what happened?
After she heard me say her name, she turned back around, and the first thing out of her mouth was, excuse my language, was, why the f are you telling people that you seen me? At this time, I tried to calm her down and assure her that I didn't tell anyone that I seen her, and she was extremely upset.
Okay. And what did she tell you after that?
Then, excuse my language again, but she said, yes, the f you did, and then she put her finger in my face.
When she put her finger in your face, did she have long fingernails?
She did.
And approximately how long were her fingernails on the date when she put them in your face?
About 2 to 3 inches long.
When you have seen different pictures and videos of Cardi B, do you notice that she has long fingernails in those videos and photographs?
Yes.
She also declared that she was a fan of Cardi B, who had tickets to go and see her in concert. However, she decided not to go after the incident had occurred with Cardi B that day. She said that she showed her injuries to her grandmother on the 24th of February 2018, basically the same day as the incident. And she also said that Cardi B was yelling and screaming vulgarities at her, calling her mean names and degrading names, etc., pertaining to her figure.
What were the words that she used that were so hurtful?
She used a lot of words, and again, excuse my language, but she was like, "Fuck you, you fat ass bitch. I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna get you fired. This, that, ass nigga. That's why you do security. Ah, that's why you do security. Ah," she was sticking her tongue out. She was flailing her arms up and down. She was jumping up and down. Body shaming me. I mean, racial slurs, just a lot.
And did she spit on you?
She did.
Did her spit actually land on your body?
It did.
She also said that she had to undergo plastic surgery due to Cardi B's fingernails dragging through her cheek and cutting her face. She also says that she had to receive psychological treatment as a result of this particular incident, and she says that she was deeply traumatized about the incident in as much that it made her not pursue her career to become a police officer, and says that all she wanted was for Cardi B to apologize for the incident. On cross-examination, this was really brutal because the defense focused on Emani's statements to her previous employers after the incident had occurred. They presented emails that was sent on the 26th of February 2018 to her supervisor about the incident which had occurred, and these emails was subjected as incident report. They also brought up her interrogatories where she actually said that she didn't have any emails whatsoever in relation to this lawsuit. In response to this confrontation of damning bad facts, she said that she no longer had access to the emails anymore. And when the emails were read to her, she said that she cannot remember these emails that were sent to her supervisor.
Let's talk about what you said on the email to your supervisor 2 days after the incident. If you look at page 1, it states that you were the daytime guard on duty at 8920 Wilshire Boulevard. You were on patrol, and I had, quote unquote, I had 2 cell phones, the work phone and also my personal phone. I had my cell phone to my ear. Do you see that language?
Okay.
Do you see the language?
I see it, yes.
And you wrote that 2 days after the incident?
I don't remember writing this, but if this is what you have.
Again, the context is that you state in this that you were a daytime guard on duty at 8920 Wilshire Boulevard. Per usual, I was conducting a routine patrol of the building premises, and as part of that patrol, I checked the rooftop, all tenant levels, and parking garages. At approximately 13:30 hours, and just to clarify, that is 1:30, correct?
Yes.
I was finishing a patrol on the 5th floor of the building. In my hand, I had 2 cell phones, the AUS work phone, and I also had my personal cell phone. I held my cell phone to my ear, checking my voicemail because my mother is recovering from cancer and is in chemotherapy, so sometimes I don't get the quick calls and have to check the voicemails. Do you remember that?
I'm reading it with you, yes.
And are you telling me you have no recollection of this 2-page email detailing the event that you've sued over?
I remember writing an incident report and sending it over.
She also denied using her phone to take photographs or record Cardi B, and also says that she had disposed of her phone. So any prospect of trying to resurrect images or get those images is now gone. The emails that was sent was read to her where it contradicts what she said in her deposition.
You no longer have that phone. You disposed of it. You can't show us that phone and show that you don't have any photographs or videos of Cardi B. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Rather than simply leaving, you stepped out of the elevator and told Cardi B to repeat what she said. Say it again. Isn't that what you did?
No.
Look at the incident report. Quote, you see in the second paragraph, I stepped out of the elevator and asked her to repeat what she said to me, and so she did, angrily putting her finger in my face and yelling at me. Do you see that?
I stepped out of the elevator to clarify.
And you told her, say that again, right?
I don't remember saying say that again.
You testified at your deposition under oath. You said at that point that Cardi B spit at you after the other people came to intervene in the argument. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And yet, in the report,
the defense highlighted that there was no mention of having PTSD, anxiety, blows to the face and head in her medical records, and she had only made these allegations once the lawsuit had begun. And also something very interesting came out with this line of questioning where her deposition was played of her saying that she took pictures after the incident had occurred.
Did you take any pictures of your face at the time?
I did take pictures.
Okay.
She also said that she didn't go to the doctors after this incident or tell her grandmother about that particular incident, that all she did was go to bed. So it was very baffling for her to have said in her deposition that she took pictures of her injuries. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this was 2018. If you took pictures of your injuries, why would you not save it to the cloud? Why would you not save it to a Google Drive somewhere? I mean, I understand that she disposed of the phone, but that raises even more questions. Why would you dispose of the phone and not try to back up those pictures in anticipation that you might be suing her one day? But that's not even the weird part. That's not even the part of contention, because if you were to say everyone makes mistakes, that's fine. That's fine. I can understand maybe not being able to have the capacity or the understanding at the time to back up your stuff. That's fair. But why on earth would you submit an incident report on the 26th of February and not attach these pictures to bolster your case to keep your job? That does not make sense to me. And I have no idea why her best defense for this is I don't have access to that email anymore. That's why that's why I said that I did not have any emails in connection to this. That's fine. But at the same time, where are these pictures that you say that you have? Why didn't you submit these pictures to your employers? That makes absolutely no sense to me. Also, let's just go back to that emails point for a minute where she said that she had forgotten or has no more access to emails. Why on earth would you not track this down with your employers? I understand everyone forgets passwords and all of those things, but you could have still got the emails and just asked for correspondence based on the incident report that you have given to your employers. I think that our credibility was completely on the floor at that point, because it just didn't make sense why this would be a viable defense. And in all fairness, the rehabilitation of this was completely poor by the defense, because they only focused on, did you have injuries? Did you do all this? Did you do all that? They didn't even try to touch the emails aspect or touch anything to do with her not going to the doctors after this particular incident. But for some reason, she was able to generate a scar from it 4 years later. Tierra was another key witness because she was one of the eyewitnesses to the event. She was a receptionist that worked at Sinai Hospital where this incident had occurred. On direct examination, she gave testimony to hearing cursings and bickering and had went to rush between Emani and Cardi B, asking Emani Ellis what she was doing and she was at work. Like, what are you doing? She basically said. She also says that she was trying to calm things down. That was her goal. And she said that there was no spittle, no or scratches or cuts to Emani's face. But on cross-examination, the plaintiffs were questioning her on her positioning during that day when she was seeing all of this. And based on her standpoint, she said that she couldn't really see Cardi B, that she wasn't sure if she was backed up on the wall, but she was adamant that she had to go and rush in between both of them and separate them. The most interesting part about her testimony, though, were the questions that the jury had for her. Make no mistake, this jury were invested. If you think that juries, for some reason, were just absent-minded and they came to these verdicts for whatever reason, these guys were invested. They asked her 7 questions. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to highlight the ones that I think were really key that may have shaped this verdict. The jury asked if she recalls the N-word coming out of Cardi B's mouth. She answered no. They asked if she could describe Cardi B's emotional state during and after the incident. She says that she was upset, emotional, worried about the reasons she was there, and upset about her privacy. They asked if she noticed whether Emani Ellis had a phone or a camera during the incident. She replied saying that Emani did have a phone in her hand. So now let's move on to Dr. Brent Moelleken, who was the surgeon that performed surgery on Emani Ellis on the 4th of November 2022, and more work was done on February or March 2023. And he gave testimony that Emani did have a scar on her left cheek, and says that these type of scars and injuries has sustained from fingernails. He also testified to the billings he had made for the surgery, which totaled $17,000. I thought that this was the best witness for Emani Ellis for her damages claim, and showing that these injuries lasted over time, and considering all that we've seen so far and everything so far, it was just the best bet that she did actually suffer injuries that day, no matter how it may have been seen on the photographs presented by Dr. Brent. However, the time frame can also be seen as a liability, considering he was not asked to estimate when these injuries could have occurred, and also this just leaves it up to speculation by the jury. Now, I want to talk about Dr. Finke, who was the gynecologist that was examining Cardi B on that particular day of the incident. He gave testimony regarding this incident from his perspective. He testified on direct examination by the defense, saying that he heard yelling and he just decided to run into the hallway. He described the positioning of the office to the hallway, and says that it was a considerable amount of yelling that would have made him leave his office. He said that his receptionist Tierra was between Emani and Cardi B when he had got there, and he said that Tierra was struck by Emani Ellis because both Emani and Tierra hands were flailing. And in my opinion, this was likely an accidental struck, but nonetheless, it just served to show that the tensions were high at the time. He also says that Emani had a phone in her hand, and he went up and addressed her, saying this is not okay, and it was her job. But there was a lot of yelling and insults around that time while he was saying this. He also says that he didn't see blood, cuts, scratches, or any other injuries on Emani Ellis's face. And he also says that he had reported her to the relevant authority that would ensure that she no longer works here there. Before I move on to Cardi B's testimony, I just have a few thoughts on Dr. Finke's testimony, and it just contradicts what Emani Ellis had claimed on her direct exam, because there was no, of course, testified to that there was no spittle or scratches or any injuries on her face. But that's not even the worst part. What makes her the aggressor in this situation was Dr. Finke testifying that Emani had said that she would F her ish up. And you can make of that how you will, but that just does not help your case in where you're trying to claim that you are the victim in this particular scenario. Now let's move on to Cardi B's testimony, who was called as a hostile witness for the plaintiff, and she gave testimony to her version of events that day. She testifies to the other staff working at the hospital intervening during the incident.
I told him there was 2 witnesses, the receptionist and the doctor. I told him it was a doctor. My doctor came out at the time, the guy that checked me, and the receptionist. She knows. She was there. He was there.
Who knows?
The plaintiff. She knows.
How do you know she knows?
Because that's who separated. That's who separated and got in between us while we was verbally arguing.
Who got in between you?
The female receptionist, she came out first and she started like telling her like, "You're security, what are you doing?" And then that's when the doctor came out. He was like, "Go to my office." And that's when I just walked away, and that was the last of it.
She says that it was a verbal altercation between both of them, and says that Emani didn't even hit her and she did not hit Emani.
If you think that that's an incident, a verbal altercation, then it's an incident for you. But we both have different opinions. It's a verbal altercation. She didn't hit me, I didn't hit her. There was no touch. So to me, it wasn't no incident.
Was there spitting?
Absolutely not.
Did you spit on Miss Ellis?
No.
Did you call her the N-word?
No.
She also explains the exchange that led up to the verbal altercation, as she had put it, saying that Emani was recording her, and she in turn was asking if she was security and why would she be recording her. And Emani said in response to this that she can do whatever she wants.
You remember her saying that it happened outside of the elevator as well. Do you agree with her testimony?
It wasn't in front of the elevator anymore, because I was walking and she was following me. So it wasn't in front of the elevator. It was outside the elevator, because I already got off the elevator. I don't think she ever went inside the elevator, because I felt her, as soon as I'm walking, I felt her walking right behind me. And then she said something. She said, "Oh my God, Cardi B." That's when I turned around and she got the camera right here, like she recorded me. And I'm like, "Yo, why you recording me?" And she practically did admit that she recorded me, because she said, "Oh, my bad." Okay. So.
And when she said, "Oh wow, it's Cardi B," or whatever you just said right now, when she said that, was that offensive to you?
It wasn't offensive. I just kept like power walking so I could like avoid more contact, but she just kept following me. I didn't even feel offended when she first said it. I felt offended when she kept following me. She recorded me, and you're supposed to be a security. You're not supposed to be recording patients going to any doctor, any.
But again,
that's what offended me. When she first said, "Oh my God, it's Cardi B," I just kept power walking. I didn't say nothing. I said something the second time she said it, and I turned around and I saw that she was recording me. And I'm like, "Yo, why are you recording me? Ain't you supposed to be security?" And she said, "Oh, my bad." Then she kept following me, and now I'm getting annoyed. Like, it's like, you're the security guard of the building.
She says that Emani had her phone out recording her, and says that it does matter because she is security. And to be quite fair, you kind of have to see her perspective, because security guards are supposed to be the enforcers of privacy. The plaintiff questioned if she was disabled, and Cardi B just responded saying that she was severely disabled because she was 4 months pregnant.
You are not disabled, correct?
I'm not what?
Are you disabled?
At that moment, no.
No. Are you disabled? Are you disabled? Yes or no?
At that moment, when you're pregnant, I'm very disabled. You want me to tell you the things I can't do?
Fine. What was your disability on February 24th of 2018? What was your disability?
I was pregnant. I couldn't protect myself, even if I wanted to. She's like twice my size.
No problem. Let me ask you this. How many months pregnant were
You
you?
need to wait for the answer.
Okay.
You done, man?
How many months pregnant were you?
I was around 13 to 12 weeks.
Months? 4 months? 3 months? 3 to 4 months. Fair enough? Did you have a bulging belly?
No, I didn't.
Now let me ask you this question. When you say you were disabled, were you disabled in your upper extremity, your arms? Were your arms disabled? The reason I'm asking is I want to make it very clear for everybody that your arms can go up and down, and they could go up and down now, and they could go up and down on that day as well. You agree to this?
If my arms were disabled? No, my arms weren't disabled. No.
Can you raise your arms up?
Objection, Your Honor.
Can you? You don't have to do it physically. I'm saying, are you able to do it?
Yes.
And on that day, you were able to do it as well. Correct?
If I wanted to, yes.
Okay. That's all I'm asking. Aside from your disability of being 3 to 4 months pregnant, did you have any other disabilities?
No. No.
Do you have a disabled placard? Are you legally disabled in any way?
I thought that this was the most baffling and off-putting line of questioning, to say the least, and I get it. Pregnant women are technically disabled for 9 months, I guess, but it's just a bad fact that your client was in an altercation with a pregnant woman. And I get it. You don't want to shy away as well, because you know that the defense is going to put on their case, and they don't want them to highlight the fact that Cardi B was pregnant and just get that to the jury. I get it, but please present this part with a bit more tact. Cardi B testified to her and Emani being chest to chest at one point, but says that there was no contact between them. She also says that she was more concerned because she believed that Emani was going to beat her up.
At a high level of anger when you were chest to chest with her, correct?
Objection, recommended.
I don't think I was like on a high level of angry. I was more on a high level of concern. Very concerned.
And why were you concerned?
Because I'm pregnant and this girl's about to beat my ass. Hello?
Hello. Hello, I'm here. So, when she was going to beat you, like you just testified, what did she do to have you believe that she was going to beat you? What did she do?
She was on my face, chest to chest, and while we arguing, she's backing me. So we practically arguing, and I'm backing, and she's like walking forward.
Right. And she's, you said she's bigger than you? Is that correct?
Absolutely.
How do you know that?
I mean, look.
I'm looking. I don't agree with that. What is your basis? Are you saying she's physically bigger? She's taller?
I mean, you have her medical records, right?
I don't have anything. I'm asking you the question.
I mean, I was 130 pounds at that time.
So she's overweight, right? In your opinion.
Objection, relevant.
She's a little...
You don't need to answer me.
She says also that she didn't see a cut or scratch on her, and says that there was no physical incident for her to know or see anything like that on her. She gave more testimony because the plaintiffs were really painting this picture and focusing more on the recording aspect. And she said that Emani was recording saying that I can do whatever I want, declining her request for her to stop recording her. I personally thought that this whole examination, Cardi B's demeanor, it may have worked against her in some cases, but she was really charismatic and came off really credible. It made me feel very sorry for her, considering that the circumstances that she was in when she was at the gynecologist. I mean, that's gotta be the most intimate place. You gotta put that in context. That's a more intimate place than, for example, if you were to have a broken ankle. I mean, that sounds rough, right? But you can imagine somebody that has a broken ankle will still have a few minutes to speak to a couple of people. They might even want to speak to a couple of people and get more sympathy being in a cask, you know. But if you're going to a gynecologist, and I'm not a woman, I've never been there. But if you're going to a gynecologist, it's akin to going to see someone at an STD clinic, to get tested. Like, you just want to get the hell out of there and not have people know that you are actually there. When you put that context into all of this, it makes her likable that in all that situation, she is now in court facing a lawsuit for something that happened because, if you believe her side of the story anyway, because she just didn't want to be filmed. That's rough. No matter how you spin it, you just don't want to be known in that kind of environment. And now let's go to my final analysis and on this trial and verdict. And I personally thought that it must be pointed out that credibility in cases like this matters a lot, because yes, it's not reasonable doubt, but at the same time, it's a preponderance of evidence, which is a much lower standard. So for them to decide against you is really slim. That puts into perspective the credibility aspect, because that's what it will come down to, whether they believe you or not. And it doesn't take much to believe you. You have to look at the fact that 7 years memories will fade over time. So Emani should have, in my opinion, prepared a defense in which should have had a lot of hard data to back her up. It didn't, and it was far-fetched in regards to the emails not being presented, like not having knowledge of any emails, and just coming into court without having with the defense presenting the email communications to her bosses 2 days after the incident, even hearing that you did not take pictures of the incident to even give to your bosses. Even hearing that you took pictures of the incident, but you didn't give it to your bosses or something like that, that really harms your credibility, let alone not going to doctors, because maybe you don't want to go to the doctors sometimes, I don't know. But if you were really that afraid to have injuries, or you sustain injuries, that you needed a surgeon 4 years after the fact, one would think you may have gone to a doctor's to at least taking care of those injuries. And it seems to me that this surgeon idea may have just been a last minute ditch attempt. I don't know what this, I don't know how the jury took the surgeon. They may have just disregarded the testimony completely because the surgeon was paying her, and the surgeon will, like, the surgeon is not going to turn away the service. Like, she wants the surgery done, of course he's going to say, okay, maybe I see something, let's do it. I have no idea, but I think that they may have seen that the testimony there was not credible. And I also do think that even if the jury believed that Cardi B was not a credible witness, because she is the defense, so of course she's going to deny everything. If they were to focus on that and be like, we're not even going to listen to the parties, let's just listen to everyone else, there were other witnesses that they just couldn't discount, Dr. Finke as well as Tierra Markham, and maybe you can even call in the experts, Dr. Rosenberg, that he brought in to say that Emani was feigning injuries, feigning her and exaggerating her symptoms to the psychologist that he had performed to the psychology exam that he had performed in 2022. Maybe you can say that, but even with that, the question that was put to Tierra Markham was damning. Like, you can't deny that. She said that Emani had her phone. Emani denied that, by the way. Dr. Finke said that Emani had her phone. Emani also denied that she was recording anyone or doing anything like that. It doesn't look good, because even if you were not, let's just say that she was not actually recording anyone, if you have your phone out, the assumption is you are likely recording someone. And also Dr. Finke's testimony about hearing Emani say that I'm gonna F your ish up, that just makes her look like the primary aggressor and makes the lawsuit here look retaliatory. Really, you have to question why at all. You don't even have to go far to question why this verdict is unsurprising, because end of the day, I think the jury are smart enough to see a frivolous suit. I mean, let's just be honest. Like, she really thought that Cardi B was going to cave in and pay her to settle. She really thought that. She banked on it. This verdict is really unsurprising though, because I wouldn't be surprised if the jury themselves looked at the evidence presented and thought that this was a frivolous suit. They're not stupid. They're not stupid. They know that this was off. They took it very seriously to try and be like, let's try and get to the substance of it. And I believe those 7 questions that was asked to Tierra Malcolm were changing. It changed everything, especially those 3 that I highlighted in this video. So hearing from 2 witnesses that she had the phone, they would have had some form of sympathy for Cardi B for actually being at the gynecologist as a celebrity, and you have a security guard who ended up losing her job, and now she's saying that she ended up losing her job because it was because of you assaulting me, not me violating my job by taking my phone out. Like, why would you do that and think there was gonna be no consequences whatsoever? Like, the jury are not stupid. But anyway, I thank you so much for watching this video. If you've made it this far, you are a true MVP with amazing taste. Make sure that you hit that like button, pour your sauce all over that like button. Also, consider becoming a tastemaker and hit that join button and become a member of the channel, or buy me a coffee. We have covered other civil cases like this, like the Death Be Heard trial. We really went in depth with the coverage of that trial. The playlist of it should be coming up on your screen. But anyways, I'll leave it there. I'll go by the name of Heinz, your friendly neighborhood ketchup man, and this has been the Ketchup.